Welcome, discerning listeners, to the outer edges. Here, we delve beyond the headlines, past easily digestible narratives, into the spaces where reality frays, where the improbable becomes fact, and where the known world twists into something altogether else. We present documented anomalies, unsettling truths, and the stark, often uncomfortable implications they carry. Tonight, we begin with a case defying conventional understanding of what it means to be human, what it means to be wild, and what forms of nurture truly shape a living soul. It's a story rooted in tragedy, yet blossoming into an existence so alien it continues to confound science and challenge our deepest assumptions. Prepare yourselves for the shocking, documented account of the feathered cradle of Ponderosa Peak. Our narrative opens in the quiet suburban sprawl of Willow Creek 20 years ago. The Thompson family, Robert, Sarah, and their 2-year-old son Timothy, lived a gentle domestic life, utterly unprepared for the silent storm approaching. That year, avian influenza, the bird flu, mutated and leapt to humans, claiming lives with brutal efficiency. The Thompsons were among its most tragic victims. Within days, Robert and Sarah succumbed, leaving Timothy, a 2-year-old, an orphan. In the ensuing chaos, with social services overwhelmed, Timothy was slated for temporary placement, but he never made it. The very evening he was to be collected, he vanished from their now empty home, evaporating into the bordering wilderness. A frantic search, media descent, all yielded nothing. The agonizing conclusion was inescapable. Timothy Thompson, another child lost to exposure, another devastating statistic. The world, heavy with grief, moved on, believing he had simply ceased to be. But what if I told you he had not ceased to be? What if the wilderness had not consumed him, but cradled him? That something so improbable transpired in the dense, craggy isolation of Ponderosa Peak. A decade later, the tale of the lost Thompson boy had faded. Then, a pair of retired ornithologists studying migratory patterns in pigeon-rich Ponderosa Peak made a discovery that shattered their understanding of nature and species boundaries. Deep within a secluded clearing, amidst a thriving flock of wild rock pigeons, was a human, a youth, perhaps 12, moving with a strange, ground-hugging shuffle. His sounds were not human language, but a complex repertoire of coos, clucks, and guttural cries, indistinguishable from the birds around him. He was, to all appearances, one of them, a fully integrated member of a pigeon flock. The pigeons, incredibly, treated him as their own. They preened his hair, nudged him towards foraging sites, and sought his proximity for security. This was not a boy who merely survived among birds. This was a boy who, from the tender age of 2, had been raised by birds. His concept of self forged in the feathered, cooing world of the flock. Upon his reluctant, terrifying return to human society, a process taking weeks, the Pigeon Boy, as he was dubbed, revealed his profound upbringing. He pecked at food, preferring seeds. He made desperate attempts to fly, flapping his arms with primal conviction. His eyes held a disconcerting wildness, constantly scanning the sky, head tilting like a bird. Medical exams found no significant physical ailments, astonishing for his bizarre upbringing. But psychologically, linguistically, culturally, He was an enigma, a human without human language or customs. He was, in essence, Timothy Thompson, the human who learned to be a pigeon. The scientific community remains in profound shock and intense fascination. Psychologists, neurologists, linguists, ethologists, all have descended on this unprecedented case. How did pigeons protect a toddler from predators, keep him warm, fed? Did they communicate abstract concepts or teach survival? The implications are staggering. Researchers hypothesize the desperation of a defenseless 2-year-old, coupled with the complex social structure and protective instincts of a wild pigeon flock, created a uniquely improbable interspecies bond. Perhaps pigeons perceived him as a large, dependent chick. It's a hypothesis that, while unsettling, provides the only plausible framework for a reality-defying logic. Today, Timothy Thompson, approaching his mid-20s, resides in a specialized, controlled environment. Humanizing him is slow, painstaking, and often heartbreaking. He articulates a handful of words, but his vocalizations retain a strange, guttural cadence, punctuated by involuntary coos. The wildness, the ingrained instincts of his feathered upbringing remain deeply etched. He still turns his head sharply at flapping wings, still attempts to preen his hair with his fingers, an echo of beak grooming. The case of the pigeon boy forces us to ask, what truly constitutes humanity? Is it biology, language, society, or something more fluid, shaped by the most unlikely caretakers? Timothy Thompson is a living testament to human resilience and the humbling reality that our species isn't the only one capable of nurturing, teaching, and shaping young lives. He is a stark, flapping, cooing reminder that our understanding of life, self, and connection remains perched precariously on the outer edges. Join us next week when The Outer Edges examines the inexplicable phenomenon of the silent bloom, where an ancient forest in the Pacific Northwest simultaneously burst into unknown glowing flora, only to vanish into ash moments later. You won't want to miss it.